So one of the coolest parts of the state that I really like enjoying and kind of discovering is when you go out into really remote areas and all of a sudden you'll find a spring and it's filled with dragonflies and invertebrates and fish and things that you wouldn't expect way out in the middle of nowhere.
Hidden among the rough and rugged desert terrain of West Texas lies an unexpected shimmering gem. This emerald oasis, born from the depths of the Earth's soul, is known as Balmorhea State Park, a community pool holding gallons of rich history in its ancient blue waters.
Usually I hear oasis, right? Because you have a lot of area around here that's very arid. It's what seems to be very sparse, but when you come to a location with water in the desert, there's a ton here. And a lot of people love that just kind of revitalizing aspect of just enjoying this resource right in the middle of the desert. But what's really cool about the water here is not that it's just in the middle of the Chihuahuan Desert, but how old it is. So they did some studies on aging the water, and the glass mountains way, way far away are actually the infiltration point for the groundwater that bubbles up in this area. And there's different aquifers that contribute to these springs. You'll have some local discharge from like a local rain event, but most of the water that's coming out of the springs is about 15,000 years old, so like the last ice age.
Diving into this spring-fed pool is not only exhilarating, but it also brings you face to face with some of Mother Nature's most resilient creatures. Relying on the springs and canals for survival, the mosquito larvae-eating Pecos gambusa and Comanche Springs pupfish live nowhere else outside of these waters. Megan Bean, the native fish conservation coordinator in the Chihuahuan Desert area, studies these endangered species, as well as a rare catfish that also lives in the canals. And she says there is no better way to experience these uncommon fish than by jumping in feet first.
With part of my position, like on the weekends, like my husband is also a biologist, Parks and Wildlife, and we go snorkeling in the creeks and we look at fish. I'm excited to bring my kids out to Balmorhea State Park so they can do cannonballs next to the endangered species. So I really love seeing their eyes light up and kind of that process of people learning about it for the first time and seeing that joy and kind of excitement of discovering what's here. It's really important for people to connect with that because a lot of remote spring areas in the national or state park or on private lands, people don't get to see. And if people don't get to see how cool these fish are out here, it's a lot harder for them to appreciate what's actually out here or see how Texas kind of tough these species are. But if you're swimming with it and your kids are, swimming with these species, it's a lot easier to connect with that resource and these springs and this area and really appreciate it.
Megan hopes the legacy of Balmorhea State Park will remain just as Texas tough as the Pecos gambusa and the Comanche Springs pupfish. There's no other place like these prehistoric waters to watch their graceful movements weave tales of evolution and resilience, an experience Megan wants to see live on for centuries.
I love being out in nature in the outdoors and learning about these species. I was an urban youth and didn't know much about what was going on in the DFW area or what was available in our state. And so it's been really important for me to let people know there's fish in the desert, or there's research on riparian areas, or how to keep rivers healthy. I really want people to come out and enjoy the spring pools, but then to see all the cool different animals that this area supports. And so by visiting here and wanting to bring their kids back here, I want them to appreciate it and really kind of advocate for this resource and how important it is for not only them, this community, but also these species.